she's a Golden State fan, but
She's like high yellow Steph.
Yeah, and I kind of told her like that's not really you can't have the same celebrity crush. You gotta be somebody opposite. I'm the only yellow nigga you're supposed to like. That ain't how that works. Like your crush supposed to be something different.
Go get it. Go get a chocolate. Go get
go get somewhere.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast.
What's going on, yo? Welcome to episode 28 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Starting Five, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka Four Hubbies in the Possible. I'm your host, Varsinio Hall. We are here to amplify the voice of the modern Black man. And before I introduce the guys, I want you to just take a break for a second. I'm gonna key you up, and then you can go ahead and chime in. I'm going to start with my man, Moneybag Yo. We're going to start a little something like...
Hey.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, not much, man. Good here. Got my little drinking from my Biden Harris 2020 cup.
Hello. Get him mad. Don't get him mad.
I know, right?
Black owned liquor, by the way. Mm-hmm. Black owned liquor, by the way.
What's my
man? Uncle
Nearest. Yeah, I got a bottle over here.
If you don't know about it, definitely go out and get it. Try it.
Word.
That premium whiskey.
And as we move on to my guy, the chef.
Hey.
What the chef is cooking.
Yeah, man. Yo, Kev told me that Chef and KV are two different people, and I was like, I'm aware now. I'm in tune. Now I get it. Like that's in Sasha Fierce.
That's just Sasha Fierce. So now I want to understand that. I want to understand the difference between
KV died, man, in last March of 2020. I left him in
okay.
I left him dead.
Okay. No. Okay, I get it now. I get it.
Why we get quiet?
I was looking at Zoe. It looked like Zoe was about to say something, and Zoe was like, "Nah." Then he went for his drink.
Sorry, I pumped fake y'all.
I almost thought I froze. I'm like,
stay quiet on this one.
Everybody's like,
I know what that sounded like, but hello to everybody, man. I'm happy to be here. We got a lot to talk about. I'm excited about just what we have to share today. I feel like today's gonna be a great day.
Yeah,
thank you, brother. Thank you. Happy to have you. And as we transition to my man Pulpit Poppy, I would go with the normal, but I'm gonna hit you with something that, you know what I mean? I think he'll like this.
Hey. Worst lyric ever written. What's going on, y'all?
What up?
Man, I feel good. I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy to be here.
Yo, speaking of, we're gonna have to talk about expectations for Coming to America 2 very soon, because that's about to drop.
Man, that's my favorite.
We got to have a whole episode. Exactly. I know.
I hope y'all see the trailer.
You know what else is your favorite, Alonzo? You know what else is your favorite?
Living in America.
Something wrong.
Catabucha.
Yep, I'm cool with living here.
Alone from night to night.
You find me.
Yes.
Cleveland enjoying that more.
Yo, that was the funniest interview ever.
For those of y'all don't know, y'all gotta go YouTube James Brown interview, and he was lit. Like the whole interview. That's just a chop. If you watch the whole interview, he was. I don't know if alcohol was it, but he was on something.
Bro,
it was more than alcohol.
Bro, when I tell you, I feel like there were two things that Alonzo showed me back then, like maybe like 05, 06. It was the Afro Ninja, and this James Brown interview that to this day, if I see either one of those, I am crying, son.
I just seen Afro Ninja resurface up. Somebody reposted it on Instagram the other day, and I showed the ladies like she didn't really laugh like that. I was kind of tight because we was laughing for like days on that shit.
Yo, that's the worst.
It's the incoherent nunchuck swings
on the way down.
When you try to get it back together, like you can't hit your head like that and try to get it back together, bro.
I need all y'all to YouTube James Brown interview, the drunk interview, and then Afro Ninja, and I promise y'all it'll lighten your day.
Oh my
Definitely will.
God, 100%. So let me just move on through. Glad to hear that y'all are good. Let's get on to the question of the week. We had a little pre-production conversation about something random that morphed into this question. So, do y'all see a difference between store-bought water brands?
No.
Yes.
Yes, some of them.
Yes.
Yes.
My answer is it depends on my income level. Because when I was broke,
Because you appreciate the
Dasani,
regular shit.
Dasani and Poland Spring was like, it's water. But now it's like, get Dasani out of my face. How dare you
Yeah.
bring me Dasani?
Dasani is not that bad, but Aquafina is horrible.
Aquafina is terrible.
Really?
Nestle.
Aquafina,
I don't like
Evian, I think it's called Evian.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
By the way, we were talking about
touched
water.
my taste buds.
By the way,
Hey,
people.
yo, James.
What?
James, what do you? I just wanted to know.
As soon as he say Fiji, that money come out.
So, nah, I'm just joking. I just drink Poland Spring for the most part.
Listen, we talking about water, people. I know all y'all out there know somebody named Dasani, Evian, and Aquafina, but we are specifically talking about waters that
And
come out of a
turquoise.
plastic bottle.
And turquoise.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. I
know somebody named Turquoise. What's up?
Me
Turk,
too.
If you listen.
Oh my God.
Turk.
Anyway.
No. Her name is Blue. Her name is Blue.
It's blue.
No Turk.
I don't know the difference. Which one is the one they said have salt in it or something like that? Is that
Salt.
Dasani?
Dasani.
They said they put, I don't know, some extra salt in it so you get dehydrated, you want more.
It says it. It says on the bottle, it says
I think it's Dasani.
negligible amount of salt. But like, why you put salt in water anyway?
Yeah,
Literally, it
that's
says
weird.
it on the bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. One of them have that. I don't know.
It's like putting sugar. That's like putting sugar on French fries. It's not fair. I love these already, but now I'm more addicted because it's sugar on them.
Sugar on it. Word up. I mean, that ain't nothing but a funnel cake.
Yeah,
But
in a way.
What
Yeah,
you think,
you're right.
Kev? Do you? I mean, you the health guru here for us. Is there really a difference in these waters?
I mean, yes, there is. This is how it's filtered and now it's bottled and stored and processed at the facility. And most of those ones y'all name is bought by Coca-Cola. So I'm sure there's some kind of like correlation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
But they don't affect the taste. Like I don't understand. Like why?
Yeah, they do taste different.
Y'all
They're
taste different.
yeah, they're
it's
definitely
based on the filtration.
I
flavor
might still have
taste.
COVID.
Shut up.
I've been having that shit for years. Then I've been ahead of the game.
I stick with Poland Springs, man. Poland Springs never fails. It don't taste like anything at all. It's just water. Drink it lukewarm, tepid, room temperature.
Yeah. Is that something that everybody? I thought I'm the only one who I love like room temperature water. I hate
room temperature.
Oh, yo, I got
water.
I got put on. This is gonna sound real stupid. I got put on to ambient water probably like 2 years ago. I was like, where has this been hiding my whole life? It's fantastic.
It's delicious.
I can drink it without torture. You know what it's like when you not playing athletics and you drink a whole cup of like cold water. You're like, oh, I gotta sip it like it's tea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like that middle of the night water drink. Yo, when you super thirsty. Yeah, you done slept with your mouth open, probably ate about 2 spiders, and you like, fuck it, I'm about to down this water, yo. Tastes so good. You feel like you in the Gatorade commercial with some water, like. Yeah.
You ever drink Gatorade or water and look to the camera like, y'all ever do that?
That was his thing.
Yo, I look at it for some reason. If something tastes real good, you take a sip of it, right? It's like when you look at it, it just tastes better. I don't know why.
Terrible.
Like who made you?
Right.
You are a specimen. All right, y'all. Thank you for indulging me in that question. I'm gonna kick it over to Zoe for Zoe Knows.
What's good? So, from Zoe Knows, let me explain to y'all. It's been a weird week, right? We lost a couple legends. Y'all know I like to start bad and end good. I don't like ending on a bad note. So we're gonna get the rough stuff out the way. RIP to Larry King, Larry Legend, and the journalist. He was like a how old was Larry King? Like 130 or some shit like that, right? Like,
oh yeah, just
He was like
about.
83.
him and Betty White was the last two that was rocking for a minute. Yeah,
Yo,
it's
you
so
think
crazy.
you think Betty White opened the paper like, damn dog?
She probably tight right now. Like, damn, these niggas. Like, she counting down. Yo, she got the little tally marks on the wall. Like, but yo, real talk is weird because I think I text my dad. Text somebody. I think my sister like, yo, y'all look at this Larry King. That shit. I thought he died already. I'm like, you know
Oh
what?
my god.
Dag, man.
Yo,
That's
yo.
a shame when you think
That's how you know
so.
you old. Like when people
People
think
done
you
forgot.
Yeah,
So I was like, dang, but you know what? He lived a full life. So, you know, R.I.P.
definitely.
to
Hold
Larry
on,
King.
I got a question.
What's up?
When we say they lived a full life, is that like an
Past
insult or
70?
like? But like, we don't know what their life was like.
I mean, they say he got married 8 times. So
Okay,
Oh,
never
that's a
mind.
full
Oh,
life.
yeah, he
That's
lived a
full
full
yeah,
life.
they said 8
That's
times he fell in
definitely
love, he
full
got
life.
married. Like that was like one of the biggest things of the week about Larry King that everybody I guess found out, discovered. Like, oh snap, he was married 8 times.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, because I'm only doing this once. So anyway,
Right.
next we have Marion Ramsey. A lot of y'all may not know her, but for black people, y'all know her. She is the lady with the high pitched voice in Police Academy. If y'all ever seen Police
Yes.
Academy, yeah. So she passed away in I think 2 weeks ago, and it's one of those people that you know because first of all, Police Academy used to come on TBS like randomly
Back to
all
back to
the
back.
time. Yeah,
Every joint.
Just
Yeah.
for the listeners, this is Alonzo news. Alonzo knows all the obscure black people in every movie
Yo,
from
this is a fact.
1985 to 2021. So if you do not know who
Listen,
she is, you're not alone.
go watch Police Academy. I'm giving y'all a lot of notes and things to watch so y'all can enjoy yourselves for the weekend. So
Those notes.
yeah, because it's the in between. It's the in between week with sports, and then last on the Lost Legends, Henry Aaron.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a tough one, staple to the black community. Broke Babe Ruth's record, which was super controversial. And now they saying if they add the MLB adds the Negro League,
They are
It's over.
adding it. I believe they're starting
yeah,
to add
he
those
actually
stats.
he might be like 3 homers shy of Barry Bonds' record or something,
Yeah, I
like,
think they
which is
adding those
crazy.
stats.
So he was a legend. I mean, an activist, help. You know, he set the wave for us, especially with that home runs game. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he played for what? No, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I might be wrong. Did he make 22 All-Star games? It said it's something
Might be.
It's
absurd.
something like
like
that. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
22 or 25 All-Star games. Like,
Probably.
what?
Yeah, I think it was 22.
Yeah, the way he was
That's
rocking.
crazy.
And yo, today,
But
like that image is still crazy too with him breaking the record. And it was so much going on at the time. They say he got so many death threats for like
Mhm.
trying to break the record. But then it was even crazier. They start replaying it, how the two white boys, it was like classic America. Like the black dude breaks the record of a white dude while all this racism and stuff is going on and he's getting death threats. And then like the two biggest fans hopped on the field and met him at second base and just ran with him. Now, if you look closely, there's some guards that grabbed their gun on the side of their hip because they was ready to fire off because their job is to protect the players. But it was just kind of crazy. Just every time I watched that or the documentary of like the home runs and breaking the record. So
right.
you know, that hits me, you know, Black Power, you know, right on.
Definitely.
And
man. Rest in peace.
I will be remiss if we didn't mention the late great Kobe Bean Bryant 1 year heavenversary, which was on Tuesday. It's crazy that it's been a year. Kobe's death marked the beginning of a tumultuous year.
Horrible year.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is like there was so much love for Kobe Bryant that was consistent from the moment that he passed that on Tuesday, I didn't even realize it was the anniversary. I just thought it was another day. Like you see Kobe Bryant memes
It
all
never
the time.
stopped.
Kobe Bryant, it
Yeah.
never stopped, which is wild. So on Tuesday, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I saw somebody post like a year ago today, and I'm like, dang, I didn't even put that together because people been showing Kobe love from the moment that he passed away, and it has never subsided. Like it's never dipped down. Shows his impact. His impact is wild.
But I think what's more important that Kobe did was when he passed, it's like his legacy was important because he just retired, dropped 60, or what have you. But
Right.
there are two things that will probably supersede his legacy as a basketball player, which is Mamba mentality and him being a girl dad. Those two things almost immediately came into the culture as like things that people automatically adopted.
Right.
And looking at Mamba mentality, when you on its head, it's a simple motivational, yo, just go hard. But when you see that plus what he did, how he became the top of his sport by implementing the things, that's the difference between words and actions. Yo, and I think that having a mentality in general that is dictated upon succeeding by any means is something that should always live on. Similar to Nipsey and The Marathon Continues, it's just these things that people, they're mantras that live on beyond them. So between being a girl dad and Mamba mentality, those will never die.
And definitely shout out
Absolutely.
to the girl dads. I mean,
Definitely.
Yes.
I am one.
Yes.
Next on the list, we got brother Joe Biden. He in there putting in work. Man, this man, he didn't sharpen about 12 pencils already, just re-signing stuff. He going, and he got a whole thing of erasers messing around, erasing everything Trump messed up, and he's reversing the reversal. So it's like they playing Uno. The double reverse. He reversing everything that was originally reversed. So
where did Cha-Cha slide at?
That's the first I thought that too. Reverse.
You gotta get that as a drop.
Facts.
Yo, so he's executive order for racial equality, ending majority Muslim country ban, not all, but majority. A mass requirement on all federal properties. He also pulling the fund from the border wall, the nonsense wall that is pointless. So he reversed that. He's doing the veterans assistance, veterans in debt. So he's
that's amazing. That's amazing. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he's also supposed to be speeding up the process on that stem, which I still ain't get. So apparently we have to file your taxes and then claim.
Hey, yo, James, did you get yours?
No, fuck you.
Drop that cha-ching right there.
James, like, I don't need no stem.
I know you ain't get one either, though. Don't even try to.
We
play.
not talking about me. Alonzo, keep going.
No, you ain't get it.
I ain't getting no stem. But anyway, what's more important than a stem to me?
Hold on, Cleveland ain't probably get one either, though. Yeah.
Why y'all gotta bring me into this?
Yo, he was super quiet. He like shrunk in the seat too. Like, what?
None of y'all probably got them shits.
Nah, I ain't get mine.
Nobody getting them shits.
It's about the house. It's about the house.
So the thing is, it's the deductions and everything.
Yeah.
So no matter like whatever you make, how it works is it's your net. So after all your deductions, so the mortgage interest, the property taxes, the kids, his uniform, like all of that stuff, you can, and then once you boil it all down, then it's like, all right, well then you probably make less than.
I need some deductions then.
That's basically what it is. If you get those deductions,
get busy.
I mean, I got a couple of kids. Like,
hold on. You said, hold on. What type of get busy you talking about? You talking about making humans? I'm not making humans.
I just said, you ain't notice I follow. I got a couple of kids. Like, what's up? I still ain't get it. I must have Williams. I thought it was going alphabetical order. I'm like, damn, I'm last. I don't know what's going on. I start looking every day. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. But like I was saying, the most they end in the reliance of private prisons, but the most important thing to me, I don't know about y'all, is the fact that they paused them student loans, boy.
Oh, my man.
Yo, listen, I'm glad that he called the halftime.
Yeah, right. Facts.
Pause the student loans so that way you give you some time so you can erase them joints.
Oh, talk about it.
Exactly.
That's what I need.
Just like just hold off for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like student loans right now is finding out all the stuff that he over there executive order and reverse it, and they like, who all there? Because they ain't trying to show up to the party. Like, yo.
Student loans, like, who all there? That's funny.
I'm like,
That's funny.
So, but lastly in the news, we got Super Bowl coming up.
Okay.
Tom Brady. Actually, this is crazy, man. He definitely at this point is the GOAT. Like it was up for discussion, but this man is just
It was beautiful to watch, yo.
Wait, didn't we all
Yeah.
pick Aaron Rodgers to win?
No,
I sure did.
negative,
No,
negative,
I know.
negative.
No.
I didn't-
we got to
vote.
rewind the
Okay.
tape. We got to
I
rewind
didn't
the
vote.
tape.
I picked Aaron Rodgers.
think
to
I did.
win.
I didn't
Rodgers.
answer. Y'all,
I
Zoe
don't
picked
think I-
Aaron.
I don't think I had a pick.
Zoe,
think I
and James
did.
picked Aaron.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
y'all two said anything, really.
Yeah, y'all was Stephen
It
A
was
and,
like, I'm a-
Max.
I'm a
Yeah,
wait.
exactly.
I'm gonna wait till somebody win and then I'll pick.
Nah, I knew TB's gonna take it. I think he's gonna get the Super Bowl, to be honest.
No.
We'll see.
And I don't even
Yeah.
like the Chiefs like that, with them being in the Broncos
Oh
division,
yeah,
but
right. Yeah.
but I still
I'm
gotta
cool
give
with
it up.
Mahomes for another time, but I need to
Either
see
you
my
can't
man.
go. Yeah, you can't go wrong
You
either
can't.
way. But I think I'm gonna go with experience all day and
Going
I'm gonna put the
TB.
point that way. Yeah.
I like the
don't know.
Buccaneers. I like the fact that the Buccaneers have like a half black coaching staff.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fire. I've been looking for any reason to root for anybody, honestly, because the Eagles is dead. And we got a new never mind, keep going. I ain't got time.
yeah, we won't go and let's listen. Between the Eagles, we're gonna leave the NFC least out of it because I'm in the same division with y'all. We gonna just let it rock.
Yo,
We're not in the
But that
same
shit
we're not
air
in the same boat though. Y'all are big trash.
Nah, you crazy. You crazy. Y'all still ain't got no quarterback. What you talking about?
Cowboys taking it next season anyway from y'all. So it doesn't matter.
Anyway, Zoe, keep going. Keep going.
Moving
We can't-
along. Who y'all got on the Super Bowl? That's it.
I'm going Bucks.
Patrick Mahomes boys.
Yo, the Bucks got the defense like crazy. It's not even about Tom Brady. They defense is
And
JPP, man. Giants should have kept him.
And they got Sue, right?
no.
yeah.
Wait, the Bucks. Oh yeah. Okay.
No, the Bucks
Yeah.
got him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Cleveland.
go with the
Who you
defending
picking?
champs.
Who you picking? The
I'm gonna go
Packers?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
There you
Chiefs.
go. Go with that black quarterback.
Defending champs. We're going with the defending
I'm
champs.
gonna go with the
I
Chiefs.
get it. Yeah, I mean, the black quarterback.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Just come from a logical perspective right now.
Right now, we saving America, right? So it's only right. It goes with the wave. Like, gotta go with the wave, Kev.
I don't know. My curl don't curl like his, so
Well, because you got the Cherokee and he just got Caucasian. That's why it's a difference.
yo, before you wrap up Zoe Knows, did anybody watch the verses?
Nah, I
I
didn't watch
glanced at it.
Keisha Cole and Ashanti. I mean, I didn't see it. I was just wondering if y'all
I
did.
didn't watch it.
it.
I glanced.
I didn't watch that one.
Where do you get this?
While I was watching it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. Anyway, we can keep going.
Yeah, nothing.
Hold on, Zoe. Before
Sorry,
you wrap
bro.
up, Zoe knows. I wanna add quickly two things. One, I'm not sure if y'all seen this, but speaking of NFC lease, the Washington football team just hired or promoted someone, first female, black female assistant running back coach.
Shout out to that.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty cool. Thought that I should just really quickly throw that in there. And two, I don't know if the listeners been seeing these meme investments going on right now, but them things are running wild. So GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry. I am not sitting here telling you to go buy those right now though, because those are definitely overvalued, and they will eventually crash. I don't know when, but if you got in, good job to you. Just be careful with those, but nonetheless, I still recommend going to look at
Why
them
be careful? Be brief, but why be careful?
because they are overvalued. It's like a pump and dump right now. So there's a lot of people that are pumping money into it to basically beat the large hedge funds. So large hedge funds shorted the stocks. So they shorted AMC, they shorted GameStop because they were figured that they would fail or the stock price would drop tremendously, which would then trigger their options to purchase the stock, and then they can make a ton of money off of it. So people from Reddit created a quick thread and was like, nah, everybody just go buy this. And it blew up and everybody started buying GameStop. So their stock price was like $12 last week. And I think today it ended like at 300 plus. And all because of small retail investors. And that caused these large hedge funds to lose billions of dollars
Oh,
because they shorted the stock.
yes,
So
that's what they. So that's the little guy sticking it to the man.
that's exactly what it is. But because that's happening, once all these little guys start realizing their profit, and it's like, I'm selling these off now. I want my money.
Right.
It's gonna start tanking. Like,
Yep.
right, because they're not really valued that high. They're not doing that great. You know what I mean? So that's not really their real valuation. So once the market catches up to that, it's gonna crash.
Pump and dump sounds like Kappa week. But anyway, Alonzo, are you finished with your?
I'm done after that.
My
Yes,
bad for
sir.
stealing that.
I'm done after that.
Speaking of, this podcast would be successful if we can really dig into and articulate how we can make a house a home. What I mean by that is, for folks who are with their partners and it's finding it difficult to create those boundaries to continue to maximize your success individually, the guys are going to describe to you how they've navigated achieving their goals while still cohabitating with their queens in a very productive way. So with that being said, let's dig right in. So Cleveland, I'll start with you. When it comes to like sharing space and cohabitating, how do you balance building together while also building individually for your goals professionally, side projects, what have you?
Man, I think I communicate what I want to do. Like, and well, honestly, it started before.
You're telling black women what to do now? I'm not sure.
No. I was gonna say, honestly,
careful.
Don't put those words in my mouth, brother. Nah, man. Like, honestly, the conversation started before cohabitation. So, like, she knew what my goals were in life before we started living together. So now I'm literally just putting in the work to make that happen. So it didn't blindside her. Like, we get married and I'm like, yo, I want to be a professional comedian or something crazy. And she's like, what?
Try to be a rapper?
Yeah, I'm trying to drop my mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, but like, so she knew what I was trying to do before she even married me. So now that we're cohabitating, it's like, okay, well, here's the work that it takes to put in. And then honestly, it takes like understanding on her part to know that I need some time to myself in order to be able to study, in order to be able to practice and do the things that I do, or else it's never going to happen. So communication up front, even before the cohabitation.
Can anybody else empathize with that? Like, when y'all are working on your side projects, or, I mean, James, you were in graduate school. Granted, that's a different thing because it's more structured, but like, how are you able to maintain your goals while also, 'cause I think you do a really great job of doing things with your wife. Like, you are always doing something. Definitely. So how were you able to manage that balance?
So it does start with communicating, but I didn't plan on going to graduate school before I got married, so that was like a new thing. However, I guess it's more about me understanding who I'm with and my partner, right? So understanding my wife and how she is and how supportive she is, knowing what I want to do. So communicating what I wanted to do and just let her know my plan, because it did. Like, I was going to class. I would come home I would leave work, and then I would drive an hour and a half to go to Philly to go to class 3 days a week. And I'm in class from like 6:15 to 9 o'clock, and I'm driving an hour and 20 minutes back home. So there's multiple days throughout the week where, I see you in the morning, then I basically see you come home. I come home at like 11 o'clock and you're about to go to sleep. So there's not much time there. So communicating what I'm going to do, my plan as to why I want to do this, right? Because it's not just like trying to build debt, because that's another conversation. Right. Because I have to take out some student loans, right? So once I communicated that, let her know what my plan was, not just for me though, how this was for both of us. Right. Because anything that I think you do or your partner does in a relationship that's going to last, or a serious relationship, this just can't just be about you, right? Even doing this podcast, right? Yes, it's time that I'm doing with my boys and we're hanging out and stuff like that. But there's still things that I'm doing here that can develop into things that's going to benefit my relationship as well. Exactly. So I'm always just coming back to that, and that's how it works out for me.
So you making sure to keep home as a central component for all that you do. So whatever you're doing outside will eventually may come back and contribute to the crib. I like that. I like that. Kev, how about you? I know that you also are one to have very much, very individualistic endeavors that kind of contribute to making you who you are. How are you able to balance progressing in your relationship while also taking care of yourself?
Well, you guys made a great point because ultimately, when you're cohabitating with your spouse, and you're married, obviously, from the husband's perspective, it's not about you, right? And it's always great to check up on your spouse to see like where they are at, where they're mentally, stable, and kind of making sure and checking with them as frequently as possible, maybe once a week at the minimum, and figuring out ways that you can be a better husband or supporter or provider at that moment, because it changes. It can change every day. So, but it was with saying that too. I think I am a person who tries to always better myself in different ways. So while I'm being busy doing that, I'm only bettering myself for my household, right? And
Exactly.
That's the mentality, right? For me, so we do a pretty good job, being busy. So when the opportunity comes for us to kind of reconnect, which is at dinner time, I know, and
Right.
and that's the time we sit down, eat, we talk, catch up, and that's the moment I can ask, how can I help you be a better person, or how vice versa. And
right.
and that check-in is very important. So I definitely would say the check-in, the frequent check-ins definitely help balance the energy of the relationship, making sure that you can give a little more or a little less depending on what's needed.
I like that. I think all of y'all have a common theme, but I'm gonna go to my man CEO to ask this question. I think he may have some good insight. What are the challenges? Because I know Zoe's life is you wake up at 5 a.m., you might get home at 7, 8 p.m. What are the challenges in maintaining the status of your relationship, trying to progress while also doing your own thing and building the business from the ground up?
Well, all those things you said is exactly that. You're building the business from the ground up is a challenge, even if you was by yourself.
Right.
So,
True.
like that's one of those things. I would say the challenge is finding. See, all right. So
hold on.
I swear to God, I was like, he is slurping up that drink so hard right now.
She said like a Slurpee. You got a Slurpee.
I tried to pop back into position, like y'all wasn't talking about me.
When I tell you I love y'all, son, it's for more.
First of all, I hate all y'all.
I heard James say, "Hold on." And I'm like, "Let me get back right."
I can't stand.
Yo! Oh my God, son! Oh my God!
Y'all got me on that one.
I tried. They're more like, hold on. I'm like, word up, like
I couldn't let it slide.
Hey man, listen.
I should have tilted it a little bit. That's all.
The ice got you.
It.
Oh my God! Let's get back. Oh my God, son! Oh, my fault, Zoe. My fault.
This food made me. Oh my God! He said, "Let me sit up." Anyway, where was we at?
I was asking, are there any
question, right? Okay.
Yeah, any challenges around building your business? And you said it was tougher alone, but how is it?
Building a business in itself is tough, but I would say in the relationship aspect, my situation is different. I mean, all of us have different situations because I have kids and I have two of them and younger ones. Like Cleveland has child that is, teenager. So it's a little different. The self-sufficient child versus the little kids that require a lot of attention.
Namaste.
Yeah, as y'all saw on my IG. So a lot of times our downtime, like Kev said, check in isn't even at dinner because sometimes we eat dinner at different points, or I'm eating dinner while I'm on the computer, and then she's doing homework and trying to get me to sleep. I would say it's like our last 2 hours before we knock out. We're really 20 minutes for her because she knock out fast. But while we're watching, we'll pick something to watch and not even really be paying attention, but it just be on as background noise. But then we like talk to each other. Did I tell you what happened today? Blah, blah, blah. So a lot of times that, but any new ideas moving forward, even with the business, like I go straight to her. Like,
right, that's your sounding board. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then I say, and she's very good at she'd tell me like, I don't think you should do that.
Right.
Or if you do, have you thought of it like thoroughly? Because the one thing is she doesn't question too much because she knows that if she knows how my brain runs, that I've thought about 30 times even before asking her.
Right.
So, but she still might have a spin that I might not have thought about. I'm like, oh shit, let me ask that question or let me do this.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of going to her first. And I mean, she's super supportive because she knows that I ain't no slouch. I'm not gonna leave us high and dry. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna do nothing that's gonna jeopardize us and we be homeless. So
Right. Right.
I've built that equity for her to know. So it's a little bit more comfortable and it makes the communication a little easier because they know who you are.
I always felt like trust is like insurance, right? I probably said this here before, but like you pay insurance each and every month just in case you get into an accident. But with trust, it kind of just builds and builds and builds. And hopefully if it's ever questioned or there comes a time where you need to cash in, it should be there. But the next thing I was going to ask y'all, this is for anybody. With us being like more in quarantine, how do y'all miss each other?
That's a good question.
Podcast and then walk in the room. A couple hours later.
It just depends, right? It just depends on your lifestyle, and if you guys are living together. If people are living together, then I think really indulging in whatever hobbies and interests that you have separately, you know, in separate spaces, and maybe set up a time frame to do that. Maybe give each other 2 hours out the day to say, hey, I'm gonna be over here. Right. If you need me, come find me. But let it be known, like I need my own space for these 2 hours or hour or 30 minutes or whatever, however long you're allocated to have. But if you're not cohabitating together, and that's easy, I think. That's
definitely easier.
But you know, but for us, for me as a married person, just designating time, you know, just to kind of, whether it's work or whether it's hobby, just kind of allocate it to kind of just give me time to do this and I give you time to do that.
Var, I would actually like to hear from you because I didn't really get your take on that first go round question. Like, how do you miss your significant other in cohabitation?
So we do a pretty good job of, I'll be in the room, she's in the living room. I'll pass her and I'll, give her updates. But if I'm working all the time, so the disconnect is, well, the caveat is I'm always doing something without her in the house. So whenever we connect for a dinner or we have our conversations, it's always trying to be centered around like, how are you? How can I support you? And probably updating her on what Zoe was saying, updating her on what I'm doing. I'll run some ideas by her and I'll be trying to get her to be more harsh. She'll be like, to me, is like, yo, my man, that shit is trash. And I'm like, all right,
that's exactly.
Trying to
break
listen
you down lightly.
Right. Trying to read Tiffany language. But I think that I think it's intentional. Sometimes if I'm working, I'm like, let me keep working because let me get to this point. And then when I get out there, she's like I can drop my shoulder. She's like my release. And it's almost like I haven't seen her all day, even though she's right there. So that's the joy that I feel about working hard and she's the reward.
Got one gem for the fellas if they're listening, and for us too. If you spend a couple hours a day without really seeing your significant other, your wife, your partner, slide in out the room and just walk up to her and just give her a kiss and walk out.
This nigga
powerful.
Said slide in. I thought you were talking about something else.
No, but it was wait a minute, because KB, I'm sorry. KB's no longer Chef. Chef B, the deep voice. He
put Billy got Barry White on us, right? He got Barry White on us.
He kept getting lower and lower. He said, you ain't seen her in a while, like a couple hours. You just go to the thing.
Slide in.
Real smooth with that.
Turn the WBLS voice on.
Thinking about you. And that's it, man. Walk out.
Now that's a bar. Like,
sorry, I don't have bars. I just
shut up.
Here we go.
I'm the opposite.
But Zoe be doing mad romantic stuff and try to act like he won't.
Zoe write poems, yo. I'm trying to tell people.
I retired.
You're gonna pull up with a poem.
I retired.
Zoe knows poetry and shit. That's you.
We'll have that on season 3.
Kev pull up with the kiss. I pull up. Can I get a hug?
Like,
Have a hug.
bring it in. Bring it in.
My nigga.
The acts of affection are important. I mean, you know what? Work is one easy kind of. I'll say it's an easy way to miss someone, right? So if you're always busy and you're always working, because it's easy to have time by yourself when your significant other knows that you're working. Easier, maybe, to explain that time. But I think it's another thing when you just have recreational time by yourself, like and missing them in that way. That's a lot more difficult in quarantine.
It is.
You know
it is.
Like I just need this time to like watch a game or whatever. Like that might be a little bit more difficult, you know, needing time to work because they know there's going to be a payoff on the backside of that.
I mean, that's true, but you can do what Zoe did and like convert his wife to like liking the it's
exactly.
Like babe, our game is on. What are you doing?
She definitely partakes in watching, not so much. I mean, especially with Golden State, but she's a Golden State fan, but
she's like high yellow Steph.
Yeah, and I kind of told her like that's not really, you can't have the same celebrity crush. You gotta be somebody opposite. I'm the only yellow nigga you're supposed to like. That ain't how that works. Like your crush supposed to be something different.
Go get it. Go get a chocolate. Go get
go get somewhere else with that. Like that's how that's supposed to go.
Yeah, that's kind of true. If my girl's celebrity crush like was like 6'3" and like brown, it's like, yo, fam, do you
Really,
want him
though?
and not me?
Yeah, what's your plans here?
Nah, yo, sometimes it's worse than the opposite. Remember Kevin Hart's was special? He was like, I caught my girl watching porno, and everything she watched was the opposite of me. It was just tall people doing tall stuff.
Yeah,
it was like they just put stuff on the top shelf. Like
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem.
But that brings me to my next question, which is, in the same space, how are y'all, as busy as you are, uplifting and supporting your wife?
Man, yo, I think that is a very important question.
James.
I'm going before James because James like, yo, we just went out to Fiji last week. You know what I mean, little trip.
And I got me some fresh
just for the water.
Like, nah, man. Honestly, I'm always asking. I'm always asking my wife like the check-in questions. How is she feeling? Actually, last year we had a conversation like, what do you want your life to look like? Like, had a real serious conversation.
Oh, hold on, pause. Hold on, let that breathe for a second. Who does that on a Wednesday? Hey, yo, babe. Hey, yo, babe, the Brussels sprouts were exquisite.
Yo,
let me ask you a question.
I was going to tell KB about that a little later.
How do you want your life to look like? Like, what?
You, like, so we had a serious conversation. She was working. The job was just stressing her out. I was like, well, like, what do you want your life to look like by this time? And she told me, and then we started making steps and progress towards what we wanted her life to look like. And I'm just being supportive of that.
Them fucking Beelins.
Like he interviewing her, like you do know you married her already, right? It's too late. So if she say something you ain't with.
Nah, that's because Zoe going hard for the interview process. He get the job, be like, shit, nigga, I'm here.
Word up. I did all that. I did all the vetting. I got all the hard questions out.
I mean, James, your wife is in grad school now, right?
Yes.
How are you able to reciprocate the support that she provided for you to her?
Well, it's more about like, so I wanted to understand exactly, like Cleveland said, where she wanted to be at, because the whole point, like me going to graduate school is similar to why she went, is because she wanted to pivot and kind of change careers. So since I've kind of been through it already and was able to navigate that space and be able to find a job, I'm trying to like give her those same gems, if you will. So she don't have to go through some of my struggles. Bro. You know what I mean? So it's like, one, supporting her while she's in school and all her assignments. Oh, can I read this to you? What do you think about this? Anything I can kind of feedback I can give and stuff like that. But at the same time, trying to help her navigate that professional space, so that she doesn't have to like do a trial and error. Like I kind of did that already. So
this is now there's a very nuanced piece. I'm going to stay here very briefly because I've been navigating this myself. I think, James, you and I are similar in the career space and like having to shift. Have you articulated your skills versus your gifts? Because your gifts you can't teach, but your skills you can. And I think you have a lot of gifts that have helped you to navigate. Have you figured that out yet?
Yes. So I'm trying to give her it's just all about skills. Like these are some things that you have to do. These are necessities. These are just the small things that can kind of help you, right? And it's not about like drive or passion or anything like that. It's like, okay, well, let's figure out how we can network together, right? Right. So these are some things: how to send an email to someone you don't know, right? Like those are skills. It's not necessarily things that I mean those are things that anyone can do. But it's things that I didn't think about at first when I was trying to do it, like, and how important networking is, even networking with people you don't know. Right. So that changing up the resume a little bit, writing cover letters for every job that you're applying for, and right, all the things that I kind of had to go through. So let's do this together, right? It worked out for me. We'll make changes as we go, but if this is what you want, we're gonna figure it out in terms of a plan, and then we're gonna execute on that plan.
Bet. That sounds good, Chef. How about you? I know that your lady is super ambitious. How do you support her in her endeavors while still making sure you take care of your own?
I think just trying to keep her mind at peace. I think giving her like overachieving nature, like she puts a lot of stress on her stuff, and I just try to remind her how great she already is, and
talk about it. That's a great one.
Just try to balance that out and try to level that out, and as best as I can from just with experience, knowing that things work out when you actually put in the work, right? And sometimes you stand on the outside looking at somebody putting in the work, you already know that it's going to work out. But
facts, yo, that's a bar right there.
So like it's just the kind of trying to like motivate and inspire and remind rather, of no, definitely you guys said some great things, and I was really listening to what James had to say, and I thought that was powerful. Just the idea of just through the graduate space, right? Kind of talking about that just a little bit. I used to like set up appointments. Like, let's say I had a lecture on Tuesday. Already on Wednesday morning, I'm emailing you. I want to meet with you on Friday. I don't know what. I don't know why yet. By Friday, I figure it'll be a thing. So
it'll be a need for
I have a question.
Right. Let me get some time. If you get some time, then I'm gonna ask you the question. But yo, I think what James is saying is something that I'm helping my lady go through as well. And here's the challenge. This is why I was mentioning my skills versus my skills versus gifts. There's some things that I navigated that were super clean, super easy, that may be a roadblock for her. But on the flip side, there may be some things that I was like, oh, this is where I felt like I need to push more. And she's like, oh, that was easy. So like there's some push and pull that's associated with like helping someone walk in a path similar to you, that it's like sometimes you're helpful, but sometimes you're not. And knowing when to like chime in and chime out is like so clutch.
Well, part of that is knowing your significant other, because then you kind of feed off the person, their energy, it's a timing thing. You know what I mean? It's like sports chemistry. That person's going to be on the wing on the fast break. You just know because y'all done it so many times.
Right.
So, that kind of deal. I would say for me, like, we're always a social worker. So like just the other day, she had just Saturday and Sunday, she had to work 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Like overtime at a hospital to deal with whatever she got to deal with some kids or something like that. So, my help and support for her is I let her make my schedule. Like literally, she tells me every week, yo, on this day, this day, you can go to New York, but I need you here on this day. All right. Like, unless something else randomly different, it's super, super important. For the most part, I could like maneuver it. And I have to get them ready, do some hair. I did a little trial run. My ponytail game is fire right now. So.
Yo, that's what's up. Yo, that's one thing I could never master was hair. That was always my downfall. That was my biggest weakness. That's why I had a standing appointment with Mrs. Kim every 2 weeks at the hair salon to get that hair done. Ponytails are difficult because once you let it go, it'll get loose. If you put the scrunchie on right. You gotta get that right angle with this hand movement.
Yeah,
you know
your
what I'm talking
hand
about?
is doing some weird shit like this. Like you see,
Like
Hey, yo.
this is
That's not normal.
Hey yo, had to be there. Had to be there.
right. Yeah, I don't get it. I
Zoe
don't
got
get
what
it.
I was talking about.
I get it, yo. And and what's funny is Amaya and Amber have like the same like
that
type
thick
of hair.
hair.
Yeah, thick, and it's a lot of it, massive
man.
like afro hair.
So I
Crazy.
think all that we've been talking about has been very healthy things.
Mhm.
Everybody's reality is not the reality that you all are speaking to. So let's not use your relationship now, but if there's lessons that you've learned about, have there been relationships that you've been in where the boundaries are not respected?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Who want to go first?
Like when people just show up when they're not supposed to show up.
I never
I mean,
had that. Don't
or
nobody do
that,
those. We
or
don't do
that.
pop-ups. I don't
I
do
mean,
pop-ups.
what I more or less mean is you describing who you are, you articulate the same thing you did with your wives now. You articulate who you are, how you operate, and it's just like, yeah, that's cool, but it's like,
You do
yo,
what you, yeah. Well,
right.
I definitely had that 2 experiences where it was very strange. One of them, I'm considered a very bad person for, but I
You
set
got the
the
worst
tone.
when you know you're a great
I'm the
person and
bad guy,
somebody's
but I put it on the front street. So how you decide? You still signed the contract. Like it was in bold lettering. Like, yo, this is what the job entails, and this is the.
I thought he was going somewhere else.
This
With
is
that. I
the
thought he was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
bring
about
up
to say,
that
you sound a little hurt right now.
no,
It's
Like,
$6,000.
Zoe,
It's
Zoe,
No.
there's a little frustration coming out. I feel
nah,
like,
Zoe, hold on. Nah, Zoe talking about a little pump and dump. That's all. I don't know if she knew that she was a pump and dump stock.
No,
she
no, I
thought
ain't
she
telling-
thought she was a longer investment, and you know what I mean. The Reddit
penny
people got
stocks,
to
penny
her.
stocks. Nah. I'm talking about like a legitimate, not a pump and dump. Those they don't get mentioned. But like I was saying, I mean I gave the person the job description. I gave them the uniform that was supposed to be worn for the job.
Oh boy.
And for whatever reason, things changed, right? And I also gave them the financial, aspect of where we were both supposed to be, but it did not happen to go that way.
Knew
So
that was coming.
and then I also had on the flip side, you ever had somebody keep mentioning something like the ex? Like that's kind of strange. Is
Yeah,
that not to me?
it
That's a
is.
boundary. Like I say, yo, listen, if we in the same room talking about somebody that's not here,
So what you're saying is a partner of yours was talking about one of her exes.
yeah, but in comparison, like, well, this person
Oh.
used to, well, this person, I'm like, yo, is this Negro in the room? Like,
Time out, T-Mart. You have to go.
yeah, I'm
There's-
like, yo,
there's-
see, that's a
you have to
boundary. We
go.
don't do that. You shouldn't even bring that person up. Period. To be honest,
But
unless
going
the
back to your
question's
first
asked.
example, I'm trying to make it make sense for the listeners, because I think what you're saying is Alonzo is very clear in who he is, right? So I think if a woman is dating Alonzo, she pretty much knows where to overstep and where not to overstep. And if you know Zoe, he don't play about his money, right? So you know that money is one of those those areas where come correct. That is a boundary which you do not violate. So what he's speaking to is somebody was just like, nah,
your
we
money.
cool.
Yeah, we
like
good. You got it. Nah,
Yeah.
I don't. But the thing is that it's not even. It's the real root of the problem is say what you mean and mean what you say. That's what it
Okay.
is. So if we have an agreement and I agree to something, we're going to fulfill or go through that unless you communicate, like we said,
right,
and you change the menu. But
right.
we
Not
both have
change
to
the
agree on
menu.
that. We have to agree that okay, we doing chicken instead of fish. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it has to be
Right.
agreed upon.
Mhm.
You cannot just change an audible in the middle and don't say nothing and think I don't notice it. Like maybe he don't care or he don't notice.
Right.
That's a boundary to me because I set the parameters.
Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead, Cleve. You was gonna say something?
No. I was going to go into my experiences with that in terms of someone not honoring boundaries. I've had 2 experiences and outside of boundaries in terms of maybe jealousy type boundaries. I literally had people who were a little bit uneasy about the relationships that I had outside of our relationship. And I'm not just
this
talking
is
about
good.
romantic, not even romantic, not even oh, it's an ex, or not even this is a a friend who's a girl literally were intimidated by the strong friendships that I had. So if I wanted to do
both male and female,
any kind of strong friendship, period, they didn't like. It could have been my family member, it could have been my friends, y'all. It didn't matter. It was like if I was doing something with my friends, for some reason that was intimidating to this person. So every time I was about to do something, this person would do something wild, and then I wouldn't go. Like I wouldn't go hang out with my friends or whatever because of that like dynamic that we had. And then I had another one.
I feel like I recall that, but okay.
Right. And then I was in another situation where
time out before you continue. Var, don't he still owe us for that Grey Goose?
He does.
Okay,
he does.
Just continue.
Wait, these inside stories going on.
No, because Cleveland will do a good job of be like, jog my memory. I don't remember. It's like you remember.
I remember that. That I remember.
So based off of what he was saying,
because y'all and my cousin was there with y'all.
Yes, correct. So based off of what he was just describing, James, where he said even if it was like hanging with us or he'll bypass the situation. There was a time where we wanted to celebrate good brother birthday here, and neither Var nor myself were 21 years old. So we decided to get somebody else to go buy the liquor for us. But we saved our little dailies, Bronx bucks, and pennies, and we went and got the Grey Goose double joint with the glasses, the whole kit,
the little shaker. I still got the
shaker
and everything. Now that was a lot for a college student. You know what I mean?
Especially me, I was extra broke.
Exactly. so you feel me? So he hit us with a pump fake, like, all right, cool, yo, but I'm gonna be over here with it. And we're like, what?
Yo, and this is interesting. We don't got to stay here too long. But like, this is back in the days where like we weren't texting as often as we were now. So everything usually was a phone call. So when you get the text, like, it's like, what? I've been speaking about this shit all day. All day I've been anticipating this.
Word up.
So, and that's but that was like, I mean, it was a sign of kind of where I was like at that point too. But at the same time, that was the premise of it. She just wasn't comfortable with it. But then also I was in another situation where same thing, but they were insecure because they didn't feel as accomplished as some of the other people that I was connected to. So it was like an intimidating, like I'm coming around. I don't want to come around your friends. This person does this and this person does this and this person does this. Like, where would I fit into that type of dynamic? But like, because of that, my boundaries were overstepped constantly. And I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do outside of a relationship. And it didn't last, neither one of them. So.
But I think I want to say something that I think I can speak for everybody here. And if I can't, stop me. The respect level that we have for the women that we've been with is very high. I would imagine that the people who you make your partner wouldn't have been there if you didn't have a tremendous amount of respect for them. So I think that when we speak about how we're amplifying the voice of the modern Black man, whenever there's a conflict, we try to handle it diplomatically. We're not yelling. We're not disrespecting. We're just like, hey, yo, man, come on. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I think that even that sometimes is met with like a what? Like, why are you reacting so calm? And it's like, because I don't have time for the nonsense.
I don't know nothing about what you talking about, but okay. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, that's definitely me. I mean, I don't.
Zoe knows poetry. Listen, y'all. I gotta keep reminding you. Alonzo was from Jackson / South Brunswick, New Jersey, not New York.
I was about to say that, not New York.
Poetry, and he writes poetry. He wants y'all to think that he's this hard rock. But you are you skip on lakes. That's what that's the kind of rock you are. You skip. That's you. Anyway, I'm sorry, James. Go ahead,
James.
No, I was just gonna say like that's me. Like even like I don't know why, but I'm just always like, even when I'm upset, for the most part, I'm still calm, cool, collective, because I always feel like I can get express myself in a manner to let you know that I'm upset or angry. Right. So that's like, I think that's how I can kind of articulate myself, and my facial expressions, things like that might show that I'm upset, but I never yell. I almost never yell.
James, I see you punching in the face and not yell.
What? Hold up.
James like, yo, son, come here.
Hold up. I don't know nothing about that. I know nothing about no punching of anyone in any face. I have no idea about that.
In any face. In any face.
I know nothing about that. That
Like
is
face.
all.
I don't even know a face.
Yeah,
Punch
right.
one. How could I ever do that?
But I keep it cool. Even now, my wife kind of like be like, oh, like, why are you never yelling? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what's the point? It's like you never really get too much across with a bunch
Right.
of yelling and this and that. But you know, it is what it is.
I think my main reasoning, and I'll say this when we move on to our final question. My main reasoning for not getting into that is because this is going to sound very, very Travaris like. You can be replaced. Why am I spending this energy speaking to you in a way that is outside of my character? If I'm outside of my character, I probably shouldn't be there. Right. So if I shouldn't be there, I haven't had real arguments with a girlfriend because I would feel like I made a terrible decision. But if I'm getting outside of myself, you got to go. That's it.
That's
I think
a little
that takes
easier
a
before
level
you
of
get
growth,
married.
though. I think
Oh no, this is before. This is obviously before.
Yeah.
For
When you
y'all,
get
even
married,
this
it
is.
ain't that. It's if you get an argument, you walk out the room. Like you go in the other.
This
room.
is not about marriage. This is
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
this was
No,
only about
just-
your bad
yeah.
experiences with
Yeah.
people who violated your boundaries.
But I'm gonna jump in and say that it kind of translates into it. It could support it because if you are aware that you're now supposed to be in a relationship that brings you out of yourself, then you can almost kind of help guarantee your success rate in marriage with the person that you select, right, or that you choose. So it kind of has some correlation in terms of like making a smarter decision or being more aware of what type of energy is being expended at the time. And that's a deep question because I think like I don't want to tell somebody if you're arguing, then don't stay. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just sometimes when you're communicating with somebody and it just takes a lot of energy to make a point. And if you have to do that, you need to evaluate the relationship or your communication tactic or one of the two, right? Or both, right? But then there's a fine line as to where is their compatibility? Are we compatible? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you got to come out of yourself, then you got to like reevaluate a lot of.
But like Kev said though, that it does shape your going into the next one because then it circles back to you've had that bad experience, you know what you like and don't like, and now you can put that same phrase that you said, like, look, I'm not arguing with you, I don't argue. So now you just set your boundary.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But I think that communication that y'all were speaking to is a two-sided coin. You can communicate and be very clear with your communication because you've done work for yourself to determine how you want to be perceived or how you want your words to land. Or you can communicate in a way that's just like you saying words, but that shit don't make no sense. And she like, fam, what? You weren't clear. You weren't clear. So I think that also going through different relationships is your lesson and like your proving ground on how to communicate because all communication ain't real communication, so to speak.
I want to chime in a little bit one more time and just kind of jump on what James said about controlling your emotion and being aware and being and knowing when the energy is getting erupt and I'm speaking to the men right now and recognizing that you have to be in control of your emotions still, even in a moment where you want to be erupt, you have to control your emotion. That's the only way for you to say something that's logical. It makes sense at the moment. If you just allow your emotions to get caught up, then no one has any right to say anything at this point because everyone's kind of like just being emotional.
Right. So, but yeah, that's a good point. And I think that as we all have navigated these spaces with different people, or even in your interpersonal relationship with your guys, you should probably learn how to monitor your tone or make sure that you aren't coming off the way that you don't need to. Cleveland, I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah, put your inside voice on. I'll put your ass outside.
I'm going to ask Cleveland, do you yell? Are you a yeller? Do you get out of how does Pulpit Poppy respond when he is peeved? Because you get peeved.
He lays his hands.
I do. All right, so So I'll be honest, like when it comes to my wife, the relationship I'm in now, I don't yell. I mean, we don't yell at each other. We don't go at each other hard. Like I can tell when she has an attitude with me. She can tell when I have an attitude with her.
And she like, you want some too, old man?
No.
Right,
No.
but like I'm able to communicate with my wife pretty well, like without it getting to the point of us like yelling at each other. Like in past experiences though, I'll be honest, I was not good at like not yelling. Like for me, what would make me yell wouldn't be like the initial, like whatever we were talking about initially. That wouldn't make me yell. It's when I was trying to communicate and remain calm and I kept getting cut off. Or I kept getting whatever. That's when I would just be like, ah, you know what I mean? And then I would start yelling. But like Kev was talking about,
I'm going to church right now, and I'll be back.
I was about to say so wild, but no, but like Kev was talking about controlling his emotion. James said the same thing. The thing is, like, that's learned. Like I feel like for a lot of people that has to be learned. And what I realized
100%.
Like, the way that I felt in those past experiences, I never want to feel again. I never want to feel like I can't communicate and be heard without yelling or screaming. I don't want to feel like I have to go for the jugular during an argument in order to hurt somebody, and that's the only way to get them to stop talking. I never wanted to experience those things again. So because I know that and I knew my boundaries when I was dating and had experiences, and I'm like, I see little hints of something I experienced before that I don't want to deal with again. Can't communicate effectively. This ain't gonna work. So when I found the person I was supposed to be with, it was like, all right, well, if we had a disagreement, we could work it out. We could talk through it. It was like, all right, this is what I need. Like, this is exactly where I need to be. So it's learned. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you may not be able to control your emotions now in an argument, but like, learn it. Learn to separate yourself from the situation, maybe from the person if need be, and eventually, you know, the growth will come. But yeah, I mean, I don't.
You see how he snuck in a motivational moment real quick, like
not at all.
Sure did.
But yeah, here's the final question for y'all. Unless y'all had anything else to add, we always want to make sure we provide the listeners, and specifically this episode, the fellas, some type of actionable item. So even though this episode was more or less about making a house a home and cohabitating with your personal goals, the question I want to ask you to provide an actionable item for is, can you let us know how, like one tidbit of how to maintain your own personal goals while still maintaining your relationship and uplifting your lady with her goals? I know that's a multi-pronged question, but how can you maintain who you are while uplifting your queen and still maintaining your relationship?
Projects together. Figure out what you guys
like
have,
that.
a commonality, find out the mutual bond that you guys can have, and join forces and commit to something together. Both of you guys can be your best at what it is you both enjoy doing. Supporting her, supporting you, supporting the idea.
No, I love that. That's fire. I like that. Finding a common ground is something that y'all both want to pursue and make it happen. How about you, Zoe?
I would probably say organizing, scheduling, and organizing. Because by organizing and scheduling, you will find out where you can fit these things, where you have your alone time, where you have your goal time. You know, maybe it's working out, maybe it's a hobby, you know, taking an extra course on something, you know, getting a certificate or anything for yourself. And then the relationship or significant, like for me right now, I have like a 3 goal system. I have 4 actually. I have my personal, then I have us as the relationship, and then supporting her, like you said, and then the family goal. Like because the kid stuff is always different from what her and I would do. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's why it's all about, I like to write things down, schedule it, and kind of calendar mark it, and then you sit together and discuss it like, yo, all right, look, here's what we want, but here's what I want to do, because one thing may come before the other, and you want to put that out there to let the person know, like, yo, that's going to take a while, but I can do my short term quicker, get that over with, and then on to you, or vice versa.
Right. I like that too, because I think that like we mentioned, the common theme that we're describing in this episode is communication. And I think communication is sometimes understated. We all know we have to communicate effectively, but when it comes to things like having your side projects or something that's like, yo, you got to articulate that. James, how about you?
So I'm gonna start with like from the beginning in terms of a relationship. I think it's very important to find someone who is, quote unquote on your level, someone who has the ambition that you
Ooh.
want. Because if you're with someone who's not as ambitious as you are, then it might be hard for them to kind of support the things that you want to do because they don't want that. Right. So
Right.
I
Yep.
think you
Right.
have to start there. But once you're in that relationship and you have your personal goals and there's things that you need to do to put those goals in motion, I think the thing you need to make sure you find or do that's important is always understand what you're doing is about the you and your significant other.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's not about forgetting that person. So one thing that I like to do is make sure that we have time where we're because you can be in like my wife and I, we can be in the house and we can be on the couch, we can watch TV, at night before, we come home from work, stuff like that. And that's great quality time, but that's not a date night. You know what I mean? That's not
Yeah,
about
man.
us. So it's
Good
still
point.
important to make sure that you do specific things together that make that, that allow you to still, show that the love is still there, right? You
Yeah.
can still appreciate each other on a different level, doing some things that are special between you two,
Yep.
while still reaching and attaining your own individual goals.
Yo, you know one
He
thing
get
I
on my
love?
nerves.
I think one thing that I love, so James love his wife, yo, like
does.
I
that,
do love
He
my wife.
do, bro. He
yo,
do, bro. He
yo,
really do.
I love that, son. Like, shout out to Shorty. I mean, shout out to your wife because I don't want to say her name, but you love your wife and it's super evident, bro. So like, I want to just big you up, and I don't know. I want to give you your flowers now because you know Pope Poppy. You know what he do.
He about to
No, right?
destroy
Oh,
the game. He about to light the place on
Man, y'all be
fire.
making it hot.
Wait,
You
hold
know-
on. But before you go, what James was saying, one thing you got to clarify too, because some people, this is where they go wrong, and the disconnect of the relationship is like the on your level, right? So I like the way you put it, is like just ambition and drive. On your level to me does not necessarily mean the job that you got right at the moment or financial or whatever. Because
Absolutely.
like a lot of people mess that up. And I don't want to say, but a lot of women in particular, because they feel like they're a certain status and that I need a man here. And it's like, he not on your level just because, the guy that does the garbage man actually might be more on your level than the CEO because of his mentality.
Garbage men make
Mhm.
But
bread,
not only about
and he got
saying
more
his
time. And he
that
got more
too, but
time.
his mentality that's not his end game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know that the other dude might be, and then he can get fired and everything, or the company could get sold and he done, and now he's stuck. Versus the other guy who's always a working
Yeah,
and
correct.
Well,
So
James gonna be a CEO, so you talk about him.
it's about
I'm
my wife
CEO.
keeps saying she's just waiting to be a stay-at-home wife. No, let me stop.
Mine been saying that.
Yeah, same.
Nah, definitely. It is about ambition and drive. It's not about financial status. It's not about, tangible items that one owns. It's not about any of that. It's about, your ambition. What do you want from this relationship? And what do you want for yourself to better you from where you're at now to 5 years from now, 10 years from now in the future? What can you do to, pass things on to your children?
Add
And
value.
that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Correct.
Y'all hear that, women?
James, stop it. We editing that part out. I'm telling women what to do.
Nah, I'm not telling you what to do.
James-
I'm just saying, when you get on fries and he's still flipping bird, don't think you better than him. Like, you know what I'm saying? That ain't
Just
right.
speaking in general. I wasn't speaking to women.
That
I just
ain't-
want to put that out there.
That ain't right. I'm just saying, like, let's get it clear. You know what I mean? Like, some people I'm on the register. You ain't shit. I need a register, man. Like,
See,
really?
this is lettuce.
I need a register man. I need a register man. So transitioning from James, aka Moneybag Yo, aka Let Me Upgrade You, Pulpit Poppy, go ahead and
Dang,
take
man.
us home.
Yes. So Kev talked about having joint ventures, right? Zoe talked about being on the schedule. Man, Moneybag Yo just talked about all of the important stuff. So I don't know really how to follow. I would just say be empathetic. Be empathetic with how what you're doing may be impacting the other person. And what I mean by that is, if you're working hard, if you're working a lot, what is your significant other doing while you're working hard and while you're working a lot? How are they
Better
feeling?
not be texting nobody. She better not be texting nobody.
doing those check-ins to see how they're feeling, doing those check-ins to see how they may be faring with their own goals during this time as well. I think just being empathetic to your significant other's feelings while you're working towards your goals will help you to do all of the things that the other guys just said.
I love it. I think y'all captured a tremendous amount, and I think we did a great job of articulating, how guys can maintain that balance while still pursuing their goals. So with that said, we're going to transition to the season 2 premiere of Hints of Health. Chef, it's on you, baby.
Man, shout out to the Justice League first and foremost. I definitely want to give you guys a shout out just for tapping in and listening and getting this far right now. And if you got this far, then we really appreciate you. We just want to. I'm your co-host, Chef. Today we're gonna be talking about just health information. The purpose of the Hint of Health is to provide you guys with information that's gonna help you, empower you rather, to be the best version of yourself. And the information that we gather is from published authors, studies, cultural experiences. We cover information from sectors from physical activity, nutrition, mental health, and just being well balanced. Ultimately, we want you to be the best version of yourself and be a productive person in society. So now that I have your attention, I do want to start off by kind of throwing out a couple quotes. Yesterday was an impactful day for a lot of people in America, in the sports world, entertainment world. And one of the quotes I want to highlight is from this person who left his legacy with us. And the most important thing is to try and inspire people that can be great at whatever they want to do. So it's never really about you. It's about just leaving impact on someone else that is trying to achieve what you have already done. Yep. And to kind of like continuum is you're going to die one day, leave a legacy and just continue to push the envelope. So this is a quote from Malcolm No X. Many people overvalue what they are not, and undervalue what they are. So it's interesting because we live in a time now with social media, and that's just a thing. So, just be mindful of like what your gifts are and give a lot of energy and time into that. So today we want to talk about a life hack, right? And we talked about today about how can you be the best person for your home. And here's a life hack. Here's a life hack for you and your household. Okay. And it's simple. And ultimately, I didn't want to really go into this topic today, but I always find myself bringing this topic back into like the forefront, and it's physical activity. I'm always telling myself, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want it to become just a physical activity show. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, like this kind of like just a little bit of what I've talked about today, what I'm getting ready to talk about today is just that physical activity is a life hack. You work out and you get better in life, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's just, I can't get away from it. And I try my best, and first thing I want to talk about is the endorphins. Like, first of all, endorphins are an important thing. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling empty, if you're at home and you need time away from the house and you're stressed out and the energy is just off, 20 to 30 minutes of any physical activity will increase your endorphins and give you and just put you in a better mood. Even if it's a 20-minute jog and you're cluttered mentally and you're fatigued, you're tired mentally, releasing endorphins with physical activity is highly recommended. And just as little as 10 minutes per day can increase your endorphins by 30%. And then also I want to talk about the economic benefits that comes with being physically active. People are motivated by money. I think we all, as capitalistic society, we're all motivated by money, right? So like a lot of us, like there was like a couple Yale students that did a quick study and they used 1.2 million Americans to analyze stress levels with physical activity. And what they found was the people who were more physically active were more wealthy, or wealthier, right? And I know that's essentially like it's relevant, right, in real time. But what I'm saying, and I'll tell you how even relevant it is. So there are people who are making $25,000 less than people who are not physical active that feel more richer than those individuals type vibes. So like like there's so much power in just being physically active with the well-being and satisfaction of your true self. So working out does have some economic benefits to it. If you're able to be healthy, then you can earn more. Obviously, if you then you can think more, you can be more productive, and it all comes back into itself in that way. When you work out more, you increase brain power. Like the gray matters in your brain are shown to increase significantly more when you're more physically active, and the gray matter is pretty much the area that helps you process information. And that's your processing capability. So, which talks about awareness, memory, executive function, which is regulating your emotions and thinking differently, right? So, like, physical activity comes with so much more power than what the ads on Instagram show and what the information showing. Like, and that kind of allowed me to talk about something real quick about just not comparing yourself to the fitness model. Like your body is your body, you know, and your health is your health.
Yep.
And finding your optimal, finding your well balance, finding your well being is the most important thing. And I'm gonna speak to my young and fit folks because I know a lot of young guys are out there and thinking to themselves, "Well, I have time," you know. Most importantly, if you work out more, you set a precedent for your future, right? You're depositing and you're investing into your future because you're creating habits that ultimately you will be easily able to adapt to at 60.
Right.
You know, so start now. And also you'll increase your memory, which is like one of the things about young people that you already kind of have a lot of the cells, but the thing is that like you can enhance the ability for you to think and have other type of skills, and you know, just thinking in that way. So just thinking physical activity helps you to like increase your memory bank, increase your thinking ability, your skill set. And then lastly, I'm gonna talk about the resilience. We're in an interesting time right now, and you think about being healthy, COVID, you know, we're talking about increasing blood flow, mobilizing white blood cells to help fight those harmful microbes, right? And microbes are the things in our stomach that help us think. You know, I know you hear the term "think with your gut" or
Yep.
yeah. So microbes have a definite correlation and relationship, right, with the way you think, and it also has so much impact on what you choose to eat. So it is important that you clean out your microbes every so often, so you can kind of make better eating decisions, right? And it kind of goes in that way. And microbes are just
that's clutch. That's clutch.
So microbes are just bad germs, guys. So like microbes are the things that you aren't supposed to eat, that after the breakdown of it, those are the people that are partying in your stomach that are going to signal you and tell you what you need to do. And those are the guys that causes the sniffles and the sneezes and the cough. So protect your neck from COVID, you know, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Protect that neck.
Protect your neck. Benefits though, and the last statement, and we'll end it here, is that if you're still not motivated by after everything that I just mentioned and said, before you go to bed tonight, I want you to write down the 3 things that are getting in your way from working out, or just be more physically active, right? Whether it's 10 to 20, 30 minutes a day. Then go to sleep on it, wake up the next day and ask yourself, what is it really stopping you from living your best life? Realistically, right? So once you can answer that question, you'll be privileged to all the benefits that I just mentioned and more, right? So write it down, figure out what it is that can help benefit you, or what is that stopping you from receiving those benefits, and then coming to the solution and how to achieve that goal. So with that being said, that was the hint of hell. Hope you guys took something away from that. Peace.
In summation, move.
Get your ass up.
Move. The benefits of movement are endless. And if we go back to what is it? A few last season talked about telomeres and how movement impacts your ability to age backwards or to stop aging, so to speak.
Slow it down.
Slow it down. Yeah. So move, people. Write these goals down before you go to bed. Wake up and get the fuck to it. So thank you, Kev.
I love that piece he said about working out now being an investment into your future. Man, that's a line that stuck with me, because if you think your best days are ahead of you, you don't want to be so unhealthy that you can't enjoy them. You know what I mean? Like, working out now is an investment in your future. I like that. I like the way you frame that.
So I think something I spoke to Cleveland about the other day is my mantra for the year is succeed on purpose. And it kind of goes with what Kev was mentioning. Be intentional about everything that you're doing and like don't accidentally succeed in anything. Be intentional. Make sure that you are dedicating your time, effort, and energy into your goals. So as we're about to wrap up, let's give it to Zoe for for the Serenity Prayer. Pardon me.
Yes, sir. The Serenity Prayer. Here it is. We
You
gonna
got too many.
close out.
You got too many segments. Got to lay this nigga off.
My fault. hate. Anyway, I'm not even gonna entertain it anymore. Anyway, we just ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, like Var's comments, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
And
Amen.
then we're going to say, Cleveland, say your juxtaposition shit that you say in motivational moment. What is contradiction and juxtaposition? Say that thing.
Oh, some may see it as a conflict. Others may call it a paradox. I choose to think of it as a juxtaposition.
Yes.
Wow.
Boom.
Boom.
And we out of
Jam.
here.
Yo, where that? You ain't get that one. Jam.
Man, if you really about it,
Tonight you find
That's for Zoe.
That's how you got it.
Until next week.
Peace.
peace.
Peace.